What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I want to show you how I edit this beautiful photo of our stunning model Anna. So this is the raw version out of Cam and this is the finished retouch version of it, and I'm gonna show you step by step how I edit this photo. We're also gonna create our own presets. You ask for presets, we're gonna create our own preset, and I'm gonna show you how you can create your own presets. And if you still like to use my preset which we created in this video, I'm gonna leave you the link to the preset. You can download it for free below the video in the description of this video. So let's get started. Alright, this is more of a beginner's guide, so we're gonna use just Lightroom to edit the photos. We're gonna use, of course, the develop mode. First, we're gonna set the white balance. For my studio, I know the white balance, it's like 5500 and the tint is about 20. Depends a little bit on the light source you use, a little bit on, in my case, the color temperature for the natural light we have in our studio, but yeah, usually it's about 5500 and about 20 tint. Then I'm gonna increase the overexposure. I'm gonna bring down the highlights just a tiny bit, bring down the shadows. This is like my basic edit. I'm gonna bring down the highlights, the whites just a tiny bit, and also bring down the blacks to increase the contrast even more. In this case, I want to decrease texture just a tiny bit, but because I love the freckles on her skin, I'm gonna increase clarity to bring back a little bit of her freckles and to add a little bit just of clarity. Because of the red hair, we're gonna add a little bit of vibrance, and I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of saturation to make it an even more colorful portrait. I'm not gonna play with the HSL or the color panel. I don't do any color grading, but I'm gonna do a little bit of sharpening and noise reduction. I have this let's say workflow from landscape photography where sharpening and luminance and noise reduction sums up to 100. So if I use 50 amount of sharpening, I'm gonna use 50 amount of noise reduction in the luminance panel, and 50, that's the same amount as the luminance noise reduction. And then we're gonna mask it by pressing the Alt key. We can see the areas which are sharpened, so the white areas will be sharpened and the blacks won't. So pretty easy, so somewhere around 70 should be perfect. I'm gonna remove chromatic aberration. I'm not gonna remove or enable profile corrections because I like the vignette effect of my lens. I don't do any upright and I don't add any post crop vignetting or grayness, stuff like that. So that's our basic look. And you can also, if you like, go into the profile panel and use different Adobe, or if you like, camera matching profile. In camera, for example, I use the portrait profile. You can use, if you like to go black and white, the camera monochrome profile. In this case, I'm gonna just use the standard, the Adobe color profile, and I want changes. This is basically set by default, so you don't have to change it. I want to just show you that you can also use a different profile with this photo. So that's our basic retouch. To use this basic retouch on more than just this one photo, you can go here on the left side to the preset panel. By pressing the plus, you can add a new preset, create preset, and then we just gonna name it. We're gonna say like, I don't know, portrait, Boudoir Secrets color, for example. You can group it, and then we're gonna use treatment and profile. We're gonna use the basics, tone curve, HSL, color grading, details, lens correction. I don't gonna use transform. We're gonna use effects, and we're gonna use calibration, and I'm gonna support the amount slider. I'm gonna show you what this does in a second. So just create, and we have now here our Portrait Boudoir Secrets color preset. If you now like to import our preset, you can also just download the preset, of course, save it, and then import preset by clicking the plus button, import preset, and then wherever you save the preset, you can just import the preset, and then once again just use it on your photo. So pretty simple, and therefore you can use the preset for your photos as well. Yeah, now we're gonna add some details by using the masking tool. The beauty of Lightroom is that you now can select your subject, the person, in this case Anna, and you can now do specific corrections on, for example, her facial skin, your body skin, the eyebrows, the eyes, for example. What I usually do, let's create an eye mask. Sometimes you like to reduce you like to reduce the saturation here a little bit. Just be careful, don't go for like 100%. Just reduce the saturation here, about let's say 30 or 25. Just create another mask. Gonna select Anna, and we say, for example, the iris and the pupil. We're gonna create the mask. Gonna add a little bit of exposure, just a tiny bit. Like, be careful, don't go for like, oh my gosh, this is like, I don't know, too crazy. Vampire movie. Just add 0.1, 0.2, really easy. You can add also a little bit of saturation if you like. Don't be crazy, just add a little bit of saturation, maybe 10. And that's about it. Then create maybe another mask if you like to add some more pop to the hair, and go for just a tiny bit more saturation. If you like to add a little bit of saturation, once again, don't like go crazy, just add a little bit of saturation, maybe 10 or 20. Totally up to you. Next, you can maybe do a little bit on her lips and embrace her red lips just a tiny bit. And maybe you like to increase the highlights just a tiny bit. Go for, I don't know, 5. Make subtle adjustments. Don't go crazy, you know. And bring down the shadows a tiny bit to add a little bit of contrast if you like, and stuff like that. And if you like, you can also use brush tool to add a little bit of details, and just when you go, just take a little bit, increase the exposure just a tiny bit, and just go here over the brightest spots or parts of the hair, of her hair, and just increase the exposure here just a tiny bit, just like that, and then add another brush and just decrease the exposure of all darker parts just a tiny bit, just to add and diversify the light just a tiny bit, and to add a little bit of interest here. You can always see what it looks like with mask, without the mask. In this case, all mask, you can see definitely makes a difference. And now we can create, and I mean, it's like, it's a process. It's not like just use the preset and go with it. For me, maybe the highlights on her skin are a little bit too hard. You can go for another mask and select the facial skin, create the mask, and therefore maybe just bring the highlights down a little bit. That's about it. And the last part, I think the body is a little bit too bright, her outfit, and therefore you can select the clothes and create a mask, and then to make her face pop even more, you can decrease the shadows. You can go like, I don't know, maybe 60, 67, and then like be careful with the blacks. You'll see, and just decrease it just a tiny bit. Just try and experiment, and now you edit a little bit so her face stands out even more. Beautiful. So that's about it, how I create or how I edit portraits just in Lightroom. We now can crop it a little bit different and like do a little bit of upright, you know, it's a big thing, upright for me, crop it a little bit closer, and maybe, I don't know, remove the door out of the background, just like this. And finally, we do have some spots on her nose where we're going to use the healing tool here to remove those. Everything else, it's a little bit hard to tell if it's her skin because she has freckles or it's something we have to correct, but I would say we're pretty good here. And yeah, that's it. Created a beautiful portrait of our stunning model Anna, and hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you next week.